Have you ever noticed how a single word, a single look, or even a careless action from someone can make your blood boil, your heart race, and your mind spiral into chaos? You feel powerless, as if your peace has been stolen, as if someone else holds the key to your happiness. But what if I told you that this power they seem to have over you is an illusion? That no one, not a single soul, can touch your inner calm unless you give them permission. Today, I will show you the way to a freedom so profound, so unshakable, that anger will no longer knock on your door, and no one will ever disturb your peace again. Have you ever felt the weight of someone else's words crushing your chest, their actions stirring a storm in your mind, as if your calm had been ripped from your hands? You think they have power over you. But what if I told you that the only reason you feel this is because you have been handing it to them? Every irritation, every spark of anger, every moment you feel disturbed by someone else is a moment you have unknowingly surrendered your inner power. True strength begins the instant you stop giving it away. Imagine your peace as a treasure, your most precious possession. How foolish would it be to place it in the hands of someone who does not even realize its value? Every careless word, every judgment, every small provocation is like someone knocking at the gates of your fortress. And if you open the gates, even just a crack, you allow chaos to flood in. But the gates are yours. You hold the key. You decide who enters. And when you realize this, when you truly understand that your calm cannot be stolen unless you let it, the game changes entirely. The world will always test you. People will speak without thinking, act without consideration, and sometimes deliberately push your buttons. But the difference between a life of constant frustration and a life of unshakable serenity is simple: who controls the reaction. The moment you realize that the storm is not outside, it is inside you, you reclaim your sovereignty. Your mind becomes your kingdom. And no matter how loud the chaos, no one can enter without your invitation. Most people live as though they are powerless, as though every slight and every insult is a brick thrown through the window of their happiness. But the truth is, you are not a victim of others, you are a victim of giving your power away. And giving your power away is voluntary. It happens in split seconds. A thought forms, a reaction sparks, and suddenly your inner world is no longer your own. But what if, instead of reacting, you simply watched? What if you became the calm observer, untouched, unshaken, knowing that no one, not even the most infuriating person, can invade the sanctuary you carry within you? This does not mean ignoring life or pretending to be unmoved. It means choosing deliberately what deserves your energy and what does not. It means training your mind to respond with clarity rather than reflex, to act with discernment rather than emotion. Every time you resist the urge to react angrily, every time you take a breath instead of snapping, you reinforce a truth. You are the master of your inner world. You are the one who decides what can disturb you and, more importantly, what cannot. There will be moments when people will push harder, when the temptation to give away your peace will be strongest. And in those moments, remember this: nothing can touch you unless you open the door. Your calm is not dependent on others, it is cultivated within. Every time you refuse to hand over your power, you strengthen a habit, a muscle, a force so potent that it becomes unbreakable. The moment you embrace this fully, anger loses its grip, provocation loses its meaning, and you move through the world with a quiet confidence that no one can ever take away. Your peace is not for sale, and it is not negotiable. Guard it fiercely, protect it relentlessly, and once you truly accept that the power to be unbothered lies entirely within you, you will realize that no one, not a single soul, can ever touch what belongs to you. Anger is not a reaction to the world, it is a choice. Every time you feel your chest tighten, your jaw clench, or your mind ignite in fury, it is not the other person controlling you. It is you who decides whether to feed the fire or to let it fade. Most people believe that anger is automatic, unavoidable, a natural consequence of insult, injustice, or frustration. But this is a trap. Anger is a habit, a reflex, a voice in the mind that has been trained to demand attention. And the moment you recognize it for what it is, you step out of its control and reclaim your life. Think about the last time someone said something that made your blood boil. You replayed it in your head, each word sharper than the last, and the more you thought, the angrier you became. But here is the secret. The person who provoked you may not even remember what they said. They may be living their life entirely unaware that they triggered a storm in your mind. And yet, you carried the fire for hours, maybe days. That is the power of choice and the tragedy of surrendering it. No one can make you angry unless you hand them the matches and fuel the flames. Anger feels justified, but it is always a prison. It chains you to the past, to what someone did or said, and it robs you of the present. In every moment of fury, you are giving away your freedom, offering your peace on a platter to anyone willing to take it. And yet, it does not have to be this way. The first step to never being bothered again is to understand that you can decide, right now, this very second, not to ignite the fire, to pause, to breathe, to witness your emotions without surrendering to them. This is not weakness. It is mastery. The mind is a battlefield, and anger is the enemy within. It whispers, it nudges, it convinces you that you are a victim of circumstance, that the world is unfair, that people are against you. But these are illusions. Every time you refuse to react, every time you hold your tongue, every time you choose clarity over chaos, you disarm the enemy. You become untouchable because your energy is no longer available to be stolen. The key is not to fight against the world, it is to rise above it, to create an inner fortress where no one's actions can disturb your calm. You will notice that the more you choose not to be angry, the more power you gain. Life begins to feel lighter, clearer, and more deliberate. The trivial frustrations, the careless insults, the thoughtless provocations, they no longer penetrate your mind. People may still try to provoke you, but your response is no longer theirs to control. It is yours, deliberate, conscious, and unwavering. And in that choice, you discover a strength so profound that it does not require anyone else's approval or recognition. This is the truth few ever realize. Anger is not a signal that you are right. It is a signal that you are giving away your power. Every spark you let ignite in fury is a moment you are less than who you could be. But the moment you choose not to respond with anger, the moment you choose calm over chaos, the moment you refuse to hand your power away, you take back control. You step into a life where no one can disturb you, no one can shake you, and no one can ever claim what belongs solely to you. Anger is not your destiny. It is a choice, a habit, and a shadow that only exists if you feed it. Stop feeding it. Refuse it. Rise above it. And once you do, you will realize that the world cannot make you angry unless you allow it. And in that realization, you will find a freedom so deep, so complete, that nothing and no one will ever have the power to bother you again. The mind that observes without judgment cannot be disturbed. Imagine sitting beside a river, watching the water flow past. Sometimes it is calm, reflecting the sky. Sometimes it is rough, tossing debris and mud along its course. And yet, the river does not cling. It does not resist. It does not fight against what comes. It simply flows. Your mind can be like that river, steady, impartial, unshaken. If only you learn to watch without judgment, without labeling experiences as good or bad, right or wrong, worthy or unworthy. Most people live their lives trapped in a constant cycle of reaction. Someone says something hurtful, and their mind immediately judges, ruminates, and responds. Someone acts unfairly, and the mind reacts with resentment or bitterness. This is the mind that suffers, the mind that is disturbed, the mind that gives away its power. But when you step back and observe, when you create a space between stimulus and response, something extraordinary happens. The storm passes without leaving damage. You see the action for what it is, an action. You see the words for what they are, words. And you remain untouched. Observation is not indifference. It is not ignoring life or pretending nothing matters. It is the conscious choice to place yourself above the chaos, to recognize the fleeting nature of every insult, every provocation, every irritation. When you stop judging, you stop feeding. When you stop labeling, you stop reacting. And in that pause, in that deliberate space, your inner calm grows stronger, deeper, more resilient. The river does not fight the rocks or the mud. It simply flows. And so can your mind. Think about it. How many times have you been angry, upset, or hurt because you allowed a single thought or action to define your emotional state? The person who angered you may have moved on hours ago, while you are still trapped, reliving the scene, amplifying it, letting it consume your energy. But when you learn to observe without judgment, this cycle ends. You watch the words, the actions, the provocations, and you realize they are not yours to carry. They are momentary ripples on the surface of your life, and you remain the river beneath, deep, calm, unshakable. This is the skill that transforms your life. Observation without judgment allows you to respond consciously rather than react reflexively. It allows you to see clearly, act wisely, and move through the world without giving your energy away. The mind that observes without judgment is a mind that cannot be disturbed because it recognizes that disturbance only exists in attachment, in the refusal to let go, in the insistence on being right, being offended, or being justified in anger. Every time you practice this, every time you catch yourself before reacting, you strengthen your inner fortress. The world may still test you. People may still provoke you. But you are no longer a victim of circumstance, a slave to other people's words or actions. You are the observer. You are the calm at the center of the storm. You are the river that continues to flow, no matter how turbulent the surface may appear. And here is the final truth. When you master observation without judgment, you no longer need to control the world. You no longer need to defend yourself against every slight, every offense, every irritation. You rise above it because your inner world is sacred, and no one, not a single person, can enter it without your permission. In that space, peace is not fragile. Anger cannot penetrate. Disturbance has no home. And once you embody this fully, you move through life untouchable, unbothered, unstoppable. Letting go is not weakness, it is the ultimate strength. Think for a moment about the weight you carry every day. The anger, the frustration, the resentment, the grudges that linger like stones in your pocket. Each one is a burden you carry willingly, a burden that slows you down, clouds your mind, and drains your energy. Most people mistake holding on for strength. They think that clinging, resisting, and refusing to release gives them power. But the truth is the opposite. Clinging enslaves you, while letting go frees you in ways you cannot imagine. Letting go does not mean you are naive. It does not mean you allow people to walk over you or excuse injustice. Letting go is a conscious act of mastery over your inner world. It is the recognition that your energy is sacred, that your peace is priceless, and that no external circumstance or person deserves a seat inside your mind unless you invite them there. The moment you release what no longer serves you, the insults, the grievances, the old wounds, you reclaim a power that is far greater than any fleeting satisfaction, anger, or revenge might offer. Consider this. Every time you cling to something, an insult, a betrayal, a disappointment, you are handing over control of your life. You replay the scenario endlessly, imagine your counterattack, feed the resentment, and in doing so, you give your energy to someone who likely does not even think about you. They live their lives freely, while you remain trapped in a loop of bitterness and frustration. Letting go is not for them, it is for you. It is the act that allows your mind to breathe, your heart to heal, and your spirit to rise. letting go is not instantaneous. It is a practice. It is a discipline. At first, it may feel uncomfortable, almost unnatural. Your mind may resist, pulling you back to old grudges, replaying past wrongs, whispering that holding on is necessary for survival. But survival does not come from holding on. Survival comes from mastery. And mastery comes from releasing what does not belong to you, from refusing to give your power away, from understanding that your calm, your happiness, and your clarity are yours alone. Every time you let go, you reinforce a truth that is often ignored. You are stronger than your anger, wiser than your grievances, and freer than the chains others try to place around your mind. You rise above the petty provocations, the careless words, the deliberate slights, because they no longer have a home inside you. Letting go is the shield that makes you untouchable, the armor that allows you to move through life without fear of disturbance, without the burden of resentment, and without the weight of unnecessary suffering. Notice how the world changes when you let go. You see people, situations, and events clearly. You no longer react automatically. You respond consciously. You no longer expend energy fighting battles that are not yours to fight. And in this clarity, you experience a freedom so profound that the petty frustrations of life lose their grip. The more you practice letting go, the more natural it becomes. And soon, you find yourself unshaken, unbothered, and completely in control of your inner world. The power of letting go is not in what you release. It is in what you gain: your mind back, your heart back, your life back. And once you truly embrace this, you realize that nothing and no one has the power to disturb you unless you allow it. You become untouchable, unshakable, unstoppable. Letting go is not surrender, it is sovereignty. It is the ultimate expression of strength and the foundation upon which a life of unbothered, unshakable calm is built. No one can unsettle you unless you allow them to. Think about it. How many times have you felt disturbed by someone's words, actions, or attitude, only to realize later that they may not have even intended to affect you at all? And yet, in that moment, your mind gave them permission to invade your peace. The truth is startling, and yet liberating. Disturbance is never about the other person. It is about the space you grant them in your mind, the power you hand over without even noticing it. Every reaction you have is a choice. Every spark of irritation, every flash of anger, every pang of resentment begins in your mind. You may think it starts with the outside world, the careless remark, the insult, the injustice, but the outside world is merely the trigger. The true source is internal. It is the decision to attach, to react, to let the energy of another control your emotions. When you recognize this, you understand that the key to never being bothered is entirely in your hands. Imagine a life where no one can provoke you, where insults bounce off like water on a lotus leaf, where criticism is simply information, not a weapon. This life is not a fantasy. It is attainable the moment you realize that your peace is your choice. You cannot control the world, and you cannot control others, but you can control your mind, your focus, your reaction. And in that control lies an unshakable strength that no one can ever take from you. The world is full of people seeking to unsettle, to manipulate, to push your buttons. And yet, if you have practiced this skill, their attempts fall flat. The angry words, the dismissive gestures, the condescending looks, they reach you, but they do not penetrate. They are like shadows on the surface of your life, unable to touch the solid ground beneath. You see clearly now that disturbance only exists where you permit it to exist. And the moment you refuse, the power shifts back to you. Most people live in a constant state of surrender. They react to every slight, every offense, every criticism, as though their peace depends on others' approval or respect. But true freedom is when you stop surrendering, when you recognize that no one can unsettle you unless you allow it. You stop handing out invitations to chaos. You step into a state of sovereignty where your mind, your emotions, and your energy are yours alone. And this is not theoretical. It is practical, it is immediate, and it is transformative. It will take practice. The world will continue to test you. People will still speak, act, and behave in ways that could provoke you. But now, each test is an opportunity to stand firm, to choose calm, to refuse to hand over your power. With every choice, you reinforce the reality that you are untouchable, that your peace is non-negotiable, and that disturbance can only exist with your consent. The more you exercise this, the more instinctive it becomes. Eventually, a remarkable thing happens. You move through life with a quiet confidence, untouched by petty provocations. You see the chaos around you without being drawn into it. You respond when necessary, but you never react out of fear, anger, or frustration. And in that space, life transforms. It is no longer a battlefield, no longer a series of emotional storms. Instead, it becomes a path of clarity, strength, and freedom where no single soul, can ever unsettle the calm you have claimed as your own. Inner calm is your fortress. Build it, protect it, never surrender it. Imagine a fortress rising in the center of your mind, walls of steel surrounding a place untouched by chaos, criticism, or provocation. Outside, the world rages. People shout, argue, compete, and provoke. Events unfold in ways that could unsettle the unprepared, but inside your fortress, nothing penetrates. The walls are your choices, your discipline, your awareness. And every time you reinforce them, you make yourself untouchable. Most people walk through life without a fortress. Their minds are open gates, their emotions exposed to every word, every action, every careless thought of others. They wonder why they feel anger, frustration, and anxiety so easily. The truth is simple: without a fortress, peace is fragile, fleeting, and dependent on circumstances that you cannot control. But when you build your inner calm, when you actively protect it, you create something eternal, something that no one, no matter how forceful or persistent, can ever take from you. Building this fortress is not about isolating yourself from the world. It is not about ignoring life or pretending you are unaffected. It is about knowing where your boundaries lie and standing firm within them. It is about understanding that the energy you expend on anger, resentment, or irritation is energy stolen from your own life. And the moment you decide to guard it, the moment you refuse to hand it away, you create a strength so profound that external chaos becomes irrelevant. Protection begins with awareness. The moment you notice the stirrings of anger, the first sparks of frustration, the tiny urges to react, you recognize the threat. And in that recognition, you make a choice: will you open the gates, or will you remain within the walls of your calm? Most people react automatically, surrendering without thought. But when you pause, observe, and choose, the fortress grows stronger. Every decision to remain calm, every refusal to react, every instance of letting go, is another brick in the walls that no one can breach. This fortress is not built overnight. It requires vigilance, patience, and practice. People will still test you. Life will still throw challenges, and provocations will continue to arrive like arrows from every direction. But the difference is that you now have defenses. You no longer respond out of habit or emotion. You respond with clarity and power. And every time you hold your ground, you send a clear message: my peace is mine, my calm is mine, my energy is mine, and no one will ever take it from me. Eventually, living in this fortress becomes second nature. You move through life unshaken, unbothered, unstoppable. The careless words of others bounce off your walls. The petty criticisms fail to penetrate. The chaos outside may be relentless, but inside you remain serene, deliberate, and free. And in this freedom, you realize something extraordinary. Life itself becomes lighter, clearer, more purposeful. You no longer waste energy defending yourself against every small disturbance. You no longer give away your power to those who do not even recognize it. The fortress of inner calm is not just protection. It is empowerment. It is the declaration that you will not surrender your peace to anyone or anything. It is the understanding that your emotional state, your focus, and your energy belong only to you. And once you live from this place, the world no longer dictates how you feel. People may try, situations may challenge, but the fortress stands strong, silent, unshakable, and eternal. Guard your peace. Protect your energy. Build your inner fortress with care, vigilance, and unwavering determination. And once you do, you will discover a life where no one can disturb you, no one can unsettle you, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can ever take away the calm that belongs to you. And now, I want you to feel this truth deep in your bones. Your peace is not borrowed. It is not temporary, and it is not up for negotiation. It is yours, pure, unshakable, and untouchable. The power to remain calm, to refuse anger, to protect your mind and your heart has always been within you. Today you have seen the way, you have felt the possibility, and now it is time to claim it. From this moment forward, refuse to hand your energy to anyone. Rise above the provocations, the criticisms, the chaos that seeks to disturb you. Build your fortress. Guard your calm. Let go of what does not serve you. Watch without judgment. And remember, no one can unsettle you unless you allow it. Let that truth sink in. Let it guide you. Let it transform you. Step into life untouchable. Move through the world unstoppable. Carry your peace like armor, your calm like a crown. And as you do, you will discover a freedom so deep, a clarity so sharp, and a strength so profound that nothing, absolutely nothing, can ever hold you back again. So go now, fiercely, deliberately, and consciously. Protect your mind. Protect your heart. Protect your life. Live unbothered. Live unstoppable. And may every step you take be filled with calm, clarity, and unstoppable power. Good luck on this journey. And thank you for choosing to claim your peace today.